Hey guys, I'm Ghost and welcome back to Tarkov University. Today we're breaking down what I consider to be the best sniper builds in Escape from Tarkov 1.0. I recently completed Shooter Born in Heaven, Tarkov Shooter Part 8, and Psycho Sniper at the same time, so I got a chance to really experiment with a lot of variations at close and long range. Well, after much trial and error, I've narrowed my favorite snipers down to 4 builds that I recommend you try. If you have another build that you like to use that I don't mention in this video, please let me know down in the comments so I can give it a try. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you guys some tips for how I completed those difficult quests. Let's get into it. First up is the Lobave Arms DVL-10 762x51 suppressed, or you can just call it the DVL for short. This is a weapon that doesn't require much to use. You can pick one up from Skier level 3. I honestly wouldn't bother with the barters as they are way more expensive than just buying it outright. Once it's in your stash, just go ahead and swap out the barrel for the suppressed one and add the cap on the muzzle. Once that's done, just throw on your favorite optic and you're good to go. For me, I always like to use the Lobave 30mm with either a Razor, Tango, or Voodoo scope. Also, don't forget to make sure you're saving your builds so you can recreate them faster in the future. As you can see, this thing is pretty snappy, but the DVL's best quality is how quiet it is. On larger maps where there's more distance between you and your target, it's going to be very difficult for them to find your position if you shoot at them with this weapon. So if you're looking for a quieter, more sneaky playstyle, the DVL suppressed is the weapon I recommend. Now if you're using the DVL, the best ammo I recommend using is either M61s or M88s. If you're using either of these ammo types, it won't matter what armor or helmet your enemies are wearing, and that is going to give you a lot of confidence. So long as you hit your shot, it doesn't matter what protection they're wearing. My next favorite sniper to use is the Remington Model 700 762x51 or R700 for short. You can pick this weapon up from Peacekeeper level 2 or just buy it on the flea market. Now there are a few ways that we can build this thing. The Mod X Gen 3 way or the Magpul Pro 700 way. To build it the Mod X way, start by removing the magazine, then swap the stock for the correct chassis. After that, we can add the F1 skeletonized pistol grip, followed by the Viper stock. Next, we're going to throw on the Mod X handguard, followed by the Mod X rail, and after that, any foregrip will do, but the A3 Tactical is quick and easy to put on and gives you a nice plus 10 to your ergo. Remember that while you're using bolt-action rifles, your main priority is to get the ergo as high as possible. That way you can ADS a lot faster, especially in tricky situations. The recoil for these quests is going to be mostly irrelevant. So the next thing we're going to need to add is an optic. Once again, I almost always use the Lobave, followed by Razor, Tango, or Voodoo. For the muzzle brake, if you want to go loud, I recommend using the Pro Comp to disperse the muzzle flash. And if you want to go suppressed, the Wave QD will subtract the least amount of ergo. If you're trying to do these quests on factory, I recommend just going loud. It's cheaper, and also suppression doesn't really count for much on that map. Last thing to add to the build is the 5-round PMAG. This build should bring you to around 86 ergo, which is absolutely insane for a sniper, and will cost you around 266,000 rubles. Let's test it out. Now the cheaper way to build the R700 is the Magpul Pro 700 way. Again, we're going to start by removing the magazine and then we're going to throw on the Pro chassis. After you do that, you just add the Pro pistol grip, followed by the Pro buttstock. Next, we're going to use the Pro Comp muzzle brake if you want to go loud, or that Wave QD if you want to be quiet. After that, we're going to throw on the Magpul tactical foregrip, and we're going to follow that up by a rail and your favorite optic setup. The Pro build will give you about 71 ergo and will run you about 133 to 211,000 rubles depending on your optic and suppression choices. I recommend you try both of these builds out to see which one you like the best. Personally, I prefer using the Gen X because it just looks pretty badass, but the Pro 700 is cheaper. Like the DVL, the best ammo to use for your R700 build is either M61s or M88s, since these will basically penetrate any armor or helmet in the game. The third sniper build I recommend is the Marlin MXLR 308 ME lever action rifle, or Marlin for short. You can buy this weapon from Jaeger level 2 for about 70k rubles. Now this weapon comes almost good to go. As of the making of this video, you cannot alter the muzzle brake or suppress the Marlin. So with just an optic thrown on, you're going to be sitting at around 21 ergo. If we want to Gucci this thing out, we can add the aluminum stock, a Magpul M-lock handguard, a Magpul foregrip, and even a precision trigger. All of these things are going to take the weapon about as far as it can go, and you'll still only have about 36 ergo. If you want to run the Marlin, this thing is going to run you about 110 to 200,000 rubles depending on your optic and build choice. As far as ammo goes for the Marlin, I just recommend using ME rounds, which can be purchased in a box from either Mechanic Level 2 or as rounds from Mechanic Level 3. I can't really speak about the Marlin without adding a disclaimer. I personally did not enjoy using this gun. I found that 42 pen was just not enough since most players are using class 5 or 6 plates now. There were too many instances where my rounds were being eaten by armors or tequila face masks. For that reason alone, I would urge you to use the DVL or R700s over the Marlin. The fire rate of the Marlin isn't really that much better than the R700 or DVL, and if you're shooting M61s or M88s, you don't need to worry a thing about enemy armor. To me, that goes a long way. Speaking of not wanting to worry about enemy armor, that brings us to our final sniper build, and that is the Accuracy International AXMC 338 LM bolt action sniper rifle, or AXMC for short. You can buy this weapon from Jaeger level floor or just on the flea market. If you're unfamiliar, this weapon is basically the equivalent of the golden gun that you could get if you ever played GoldenEye back in the day. If you are running FMJ or AP rounds, you will penetrate and take down any opponent with one shot to either the head or the thorax, regardless of what they're wearing. Now, there aren't many mods that you can give to this gun, so just throw an optic on there and you're good to go. If you want to run this thing suppressed, you can use the Borlock one and you'll have about 3 ergo. If you really want to, you can go through the hassle of swapping out all the components to work a Growl pistol grip in there to get that ergo up. But honestly, it doesn't really go up that much higher to make it worth it. If you want to use the AXMC, I recommend just running the gun as is. If you completed Tarkov Shooter Part 8 or Shooterborn and don't need to concern yourself with headshots, then this is the way to go. Again, FMJ and AP rounds are going to penetrate any armor in the game, so all you need to do is hit your shot. Let's take a look at this thing. Now, one last honorable mention I need to cover because I know it's going to come up in the comments is the Gornostay. I know this thing can one-tap the thorax with AP rounds, but since the release of 1.0, this weapon has constantly let me down at long range. The bullet drop and low velocity of the rounds is just not worth it in my opinion. I know, the Gornostay is super cheap, but since 1.0, I just really haven't had good luck with it, so I can't recommend it. If you go through my shorts, there's a clip where I tried to snipe a guy at 130 meters with the Gornostay. The dot was placed right on his head, I clicked, he didn't move, and he didn't go down, and what's worse is the shot didn't even register as a hit. After switching to either the DVL or the R700, this issue never came up again. When I switched to using M61s or M88s, if I clicked on a guy's head, he went down. Now before we close, I told you guys I'd give you some sniper tips to discuss how I completed Shooterborn, Psycho Sniper, and Tarkov Shooter Part 8. If you don't know, to complete Shooterborn in Heaven, you need to get 5 headshots on PMCs with bolt-action rifles on almost every map. This can be done over multiple raids and at your own pace, and your progress doesn't reset if you fail to extract. To complete Tarkov Shooter Part 8, you need to get 3 consecutive PMC kills with headshots using a bolt-action rifle without dying. This can be done over multiple raids, but if you go down at any point, that counter resets. And to complete Psycho Sniper, you need to kill 5 PMCs with a bolt-action rifle without dying. What differentiates Psycho Sniper from Tarkov Shooter Part 8 is for Psycho Sniper, the kills don't necessarily need to be a headshot. What's the same is if you go down at any time, the counter is reset, but this can also be done over multiple raids. It's also worth noting that run-throughs do not affect your progress here. Now to complete Shooterborn, you guys really just need to run raids using a bolt-action rifle. I personally hate using bolt-action rifles, so I really don't like doing this, but to get this quest done, you just gotta do it. If I'm doing a quest where I really need to extract or get an item, I do not bring bolt-actions to try to stack Shooterborn on top. I know some people do that, but it just doesn't work for me. Now, if I'm doing generic runs or want to focus on Shooterborn in general, I'll just bring a bolty and either move towards a player spawn or a choke point where I know there's going to be a lot of traffic. When I'm working on Shooterborn, I usually don't bother bringing a backpack or a helmet. If you're not wearing either of those things, it makes it so much more difficult to see you if you have a chance to go prone. Now regarding Psycho Sniper, I don't actually work on it until my bolt action skill is leveled up to 10. It's very difficult to get 5 PMC kills without going down, so if you somehow do that but you don't have your bolt action skill up to 10, your kill count will reset, and if you die, the quest will not be complete. You really don't want to be in this situation. Guys, if you somehow get your 5 PMC kills with a bolt action, but you don't have the bolt action skill leveled up to 10, a workaround I know of is to just bite the bullet and go play arena until your bolt action skill is leveled up to 10. It's not going to be fun using only bolt actions on arena, but you do what you gotta do. The other thing I like to do before I work on Psycho Sniper is to wait until I have Tarkov Shooter Part 8 unlocked. This way I can stack both of these quests and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So how did I beat these? Well, my first attempt was spending 3 hours one day trying to get this done on interchange. There was a few times where I'd get 2 or 3 PMC kills, but then I would run into either a team of 3 or 4 guys and I'd get smoked. Again, I tried this for about 3 hours and it was very discouraging. The next day I tried this method again for about 2 to 3 hours and I had the same results. I would get a couple of kills and then I'd go down to a team or to somebody I didn't even see. So on the third day, I changed up my strategy entirely and I was able to complete both Tarkov Shooter Part 8 and Psycho Sniper in under 2 hours. I took the Pro 700 build unsuppressed to factory and I played very slow and very safe. If I could get into the rafters, I would, but if I didn't have a good spawn for it, I wouldn't force it. The way I was playing is I was trying to pick off the closest player to my spawn. If I was able to take them down, I would either camp a hallway or some sort of open area, and I always made sure to extract before the player scav spawned in. Sometimes I wasn't able to get the nearest player to me, no big deal, just play it slow and extract and reset if you got to. I got a few run-throughs doing it this way, but that doesn't stop your progress. Now once I had 3 headshots and Tarkov Shooter Part 8 done, I switched from the Pro 700 to the AXMC because I didn't have to focus on headshots anymore. After 3 or 4 more raids, I got the 2 kills I needed to complete Psycho Sniper, and that was that. This wipe will be the 4th time I've gotten Kappa, and I will say I've never done these quests on Factory. Having said that, Factory was the easiest and fastest way I have ever done these quests. I used to always do them on Woods or Interchange. The predictable spawns and easy access to extracts on Factory made this a win-win, so after I prestige, I'm going to be doing it this way again. If you guys have been following me for any length of time, you'll know I really don't like using bolt action snipers in general. I want to just stay W-keyed with an NL or M4, but since this is a requirement for Kappa, it must be done. And that wraps up my guide for my favorite sniper builds and some tips for how to complete those difficult quests and escape from Tarkov. If this guide helped you, make sure you guys smash the like button and subscribe for more Tarkov content. Again, let me know in the comments what build is your favorite or if you have any luck with these. I hope the sniper tips help you out as well. As always, thanks for watching guys. I'm Ghost and I'll see you in the next raid.